Alright, so without further ado, Chad Robinson talking about USB, Ultimate Boot CD, my O toolkit. Yeah, on camera, I can't say that.
Well, I'm going to stand over
Sorry.
here. There's a lot of static electricity, so I'm not going to move a whole lot. But I'm going to be talking about Universal Boot CD, or Ultimate Boot CD rather.
Speak up.
For Windows. I'll try. Ultimate Boot CD, some of you might have heard about that before. Can you raise your hand if you've used it, or? Okay, quite a few. So, hopefully you learn something new out of this. What it's typically used for is if you can't get into the operating system on the host machine, you could load up the Universal Boot CD off of a CD or a USB drive. It comes in handy when you can't boot Windows at all because of the master boot record was corrupted, or you simply just can't remember the password to log in. You can reset the password. You can't view the password, but you can reset it and actually add new user accounts to the machine itself. Right here you see the grub loader, which is the boot loader for loading any operating system, not Windows, but you know, you can use it for Linux. I changed the name where it says launch, but it would say Universal Boot CD right there. I added a few other utilities to this Universal Boot CD. I added alternate operating system scanner, which is a virus scanner. It can delete files. It can recover files. I got AVG Live, which is a live CD that AVG provides for scanning viruses. I haven't yet come across a computer where the network card was detected by the program itself, so support there is pretty slim. I added OffCrack, which is a rainbow table cracker, or a password cracker using rainbow tables. It's mainly for Windows XP.
Works on 7 too.
You have to have the Vista rainbow tables.
Yeah.
I don't have those on here. Then I got Puppy Linux in case you want to load up a Linux and do whatever you want without having a working computer. But let's launch the boot CD. I'm going to launch it through the memory, so it's going to load quicker, or it should. If not, then it'll take a while, because it has to load every single file.
And that looks totally wrong, by the way.
What?
The whole Linux boot thing before the Windows bootloader.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah. I noticed it running pretty slow on this PC here. It's the first time I've ever done it on a HP, but it all relates to the RAM speeds and the front side bus of the computer. There's probably a bottleneck there that's making it go that slow. It'll take a minute or so. Anybody have any questions yet?
Last time we tried this would have blue screened out by now.
Oh, yeah.
So you're already +1.
I tested it. It seems to work, so that's all good.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I said something.
This is all software that was developed by the group that provides this project. It was a project that like a couple of people worked on from a Yahoo group forum called Universal Boot CD. They wanted it ported to a Windows version, so a couple people got together and we started working on that. It's been in production since I think 2003, maybe 2004. Okay. As you can see, it looks like Windows XP a little bit. Of course, there's some copyright issues, so they had to modify it quite a bit. You have the start menu, which is actually in Universal BlueCD is called NU2 menu, and you can load up some virus scanners. That's probably the best thing to use this CD for, is to remove viruses from any PC. You'll have, if you have a computer that is, okay, whenever you do scanners on an actual computer, you can't always remove every virus. And that's the biggest issue, because the next time you load up your computer, it's just going to load back on there. Or maybe a week later, it'll load back on there. With this, you're outside of the system, so you can touch those files that are protected when you're in the Windows environment, and you can actually clean those files. But there's SpyBot. This is probably the best anti-virus scanner. I know it says SpyBot, but you can rid of them all. Huh?
That's smart. It doesn't do viruses.
Oh, no, it does. Because I've used it all the time. It gets Trojans, rootkits. They have antivirus tools, which none of them really work. Again, you know, this is a project maintained by a few people, and it's really up to those individuals to update it. And they're working on a Windows 7 version, but that's yet to be seen. Now, because this works strictly from the computer, it doesn't touch the hard drive, you have a certain amount of what would be hard drive space. It uses the remaining RAM space that doesn't get loaded for this operating system. As you can see over here, you got the B drive, which is the drive where you can store all the files temporarily, and that stores it directly to RAM. You can view some other stats on here as well. But you can load up a file manager. Let's see. And you can browse the drive itself. This is the,
No, X.
no, right here. And this is the hard drive of the actual computer. Now, if you were to delete a file in here that you normally couldn't delete, well, you're going to be screwed unless you put that back. So be careful what you're doing. It's got internet access, but I can't install the drivers. It doesn't detect the drivers in this machine itself, so I can't show you using the internet or anything like that. That's about that for Universal BlueCD. Have we got any questions?
What does it take to put one of these together?
Okay, I got a PowerPoint ready for installing Universal BlueCD and loading it onto a USB drive. Let's see if we can get it loaded from here. Alright. So that's cool, that worked. Universal BlueCD. I already said what it was used for. It helps you to get a system back up in working order as quickly as possible. You can only really use Universal BlueCD on Windows XP machines. You can use some other functions, some other utilities on a Windows 7 machine, but I would stay away from like registry tools, because the registry is a little bit different from Windows 7 to Windows XP. You have, you can use it on master boot records for a Windows 7 machine, so it'll usually fix that so you can load back into Windows if you ever get that.
Don't they have a UBCD up here?
I don't think it, I don't know, actually. Let's look. Do you see anything? I've come across it on an actual computer, but I don't know if it's in here. What's this right here? What's that say?
H2SW. Doesn't look too promising.
Well, I don't see anything from Windows 7. You can install it, download it, and start the installation from UBCD4Win.com. There they have, you know, information on how to get it going as well, so if this doesn't make sense to you. When you open up the executable for UBCD, you'll see this screen, something similar. You have to have a source of Windows XP or 2003. It's preferred to use Windows XP because 2003 you got to modify some other settings to get it to work properly. And I actually haven't bothered installing it with the 2003 source anyways. Custom, I believe that's where you can just install other applications. Say drivers, you can load drivers from driverspack.net. Anybody ever heard of that before? It's a pretty good source. They update their drivers occasionally to the latest, but sometimes, you know, there's some missing, so. You can use plugins, or UBCD uses plugins, and you can click the plugins button on that main screen that you just seen, and from there you'll get a list of plugins that you can install. Not all of them are enabled, so you'll have to go through the list to enable the ones that you want to use, and then disable the ones that you don't want to use. It's recommended that you update your virus scanner definitions before you install this onto a USB drive, because you don't want to have outdated definitions right from the source. You know, you can always update it in here as well, but not all the time. Like antivirus, you can't update those definitions from in here because it's too big of a file to download and then save it on a lot of computers, because a lot of computers don't have enough RAM space. This is the plugin viewer where you can see all the plugins. Now there's quite a bit. I only got the first part of it, and you can see off to the right, you can scroll down quite a bit. You can, if you, what's that?
UBCD4Win.
What's that? Oh.
Right, all of it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's, I think that's for like rub and all that, or that's their bootloader for the BCD. You can add your own plugins. There's a specific directory that you can put it into. It's in the plugins and then multi-003 directory. I made 4 plugins. The 2 at the bottom, Puppy Linux and Off Track, and the 2 just underneath the USB boot menu support, AOSS and AVG Live, as you see most at the beginning. I'll go over how to create plugins, because I think that the information isn't really there, and I think it's a good thing to learn so that you can add your own applications to it. configure them, and usually if you configure a plugin, it'll do updates like on fire scanners or whatever. You can config the menu for the BCDW that was just mentioned, and that you can change like the colors of the menu, I think the options you can select as well, but that's all automated, so you shouldn't have to. You can create your own plugins. It can be rather difficult, but if you do it correctly, you can gain from it. So when I created the plugins, it was trial and error a lot. So I had to build the boot CD over and over until I got it correct. And that's how computers are though, so as a lot of you may know. They use INF files just like Windows. Windows will install, get all their installation information off of INF files, and the same kind of structure that boot CD uses. Here's a before shot of a plugin file that I downloaded for Puppy Linux, but the version was rather outdated. This is for 2.17, and I think the latest version is 5 something. So, as you can see, you have to have the signature at the top for any plugin that you make. That tells Windows what to do, pretty much, I think. The name is the name that you'll see in the plugin viewer. Enabling, that is changed when you disable or enable it in the viewer. The config, that's the config file that is loaded when you click the config button on the viewer. The WinNT directories, that tells UBCD that you want to create 2 directories with the variable A and B. For instance, puppy and BCDW. That will create those 2 directories on the root of the USB drive, or the root of the directory for your universal boot CD. The 2 option, I think that's just to overwrite the folder location if it's already there, or append to it. I can't remember. It's one of the 2. There's a help document that is provided with the Universal Boot CD installation program. Source disk files, those are the files that you want to carry over to the directories that you just told it to create. For instance, the files isolinux.bin file will carry over to directory A, the puppy directory, and it'll give it the name isolinux.bin, and I think there's another one of those tags that either append it or override it. And then at the bottom, the append structure, that will tell it to write the puppy_bcdw.ini file to the bcdw ini file. So that's pretty much just to say, hey, this is what I want the bootloader to show on the screen for this instance. After, I had to change it, and what I did was added another file because that was what was in the download for Puppy Linux. And as you can see, for the luku_520.sfs file, I had to lowercase it. I know Linux is pretty stingy on uppercase and lowercase, so I just lowercase it just in case. And then I added another structure there. Was source disk folders. That created what did that do? Oh, I was going to, I had previously ran Puppy Linux, and it saved my environment to a file, and I wanted to carry that file over when I recreated the plugin, but I deleted that file, so I didn't add it to the source disk files. If I would just put files underscore, then the name of that file, and put the B tag instead of the A tag for the directory that I want to put it to. And then instead of appending to the BCDW.ini file, I append it to the menu.list file because I'm using grub for DOS as my bootloader rather than BCDW. And grub for DOS uses the menu.list file.
It's like you're using grub to chain load. I mean, it looks like you're using BCDW to chain load grub for DOS.
I'm not
according to
entirely
that
sure on that.
configuration. Because you have your menu entries for BCDW, and I noticed before when you booted this BCDW screen, there was a Puppy Linux option in there.
Yeah.
So it's like you're using bootloader, not bootloader.
Well,
it works.
we'll go over that because I want to reboot it and show you chain loading from grub for DOS to syslinux, because that's what some of the other programs that I put on there use is syslinux for their menus. And I could have just carried over the off crack to grub for DOS, and I did do that. Well, I got it on another boot drive, so if you want to see that, I can load up the other boot drive and show you the chain loading from grub for DOS to syslinux. After you exit the plugins that you want to set up and use, you'll want to you can either create the ISO, so you can select create ISO, or you can select none if you want to put it on a USB drive, and it'll just export everything to a file rather than an ISO file. Then I'll put everything to the output folder that you specified in the main screen. After the build, to put it on a USB drive, you're going to want to load a program called UBUSB.exe, and it's in the root folder of the installation location that you specified when you install the program. It will format the USB drive and make it bootable. Not all USB drive, no USB drive is bootable unless specified. And then it'll install the bootloader. You have two choices. You have grub for DOS or syslinux. I thought that was kind of odd because they don't use the BCDW bootloader.
Don't they also take the master boot record from a floppy drive or a floppy disk or something like that to make the USB stick bootable?
Maybe back in previous versions. I haven't noticed that in this version. I know that you can boot from a floppy drive. That's a menu option, but I don't know if they take the master boot record from that. If you were to create multiple directories for Universal BlueCD, you don't want to always format your drive. It'd be quicker to format it in Windows with a quick option rather than formatting the entire drive over and over and over. So you can tell it not to format the partition or modify the partition table because you already have it set. But for the first time installation, you're going to want to leave those unchecked, and the file system can always stay at FAT32. I don't think they have an NTFS option right now, and I believe they would add that for Windows 7 support. The volume label, that's used to know what drive is the one that you're using, pretty much in my computer, and you go and see that, hey, this is the system drive and this is the USB drive. Again, the bootloader is grub for DOS. I leave it there. Grub for DOS I prefer. You can change it to syslinux to see the differences if you want. The RPE folder that you want to add to the USB drive, you can't just type in that location. It's default to RPE, but if you change it to like RPE2, because you want to keep your old one just in case you screw something up on the new one, you'll have to click the 3 dots to browse to the new location that you want to add to the USB drive.
No spaces in that. It gets very pissed off.
Yeah, probably. I try to stay away from spaces because you always got to put bolts around it and whatnot.
It screws a lot of things over.
If you were to type in that text box, it allows you to, but as soon as you leave that text box, it's going to take it back to what it was previously. So I've made the mistake in changing it by typing it and clicking the go button, sitting there for an hour, and realizing that it added the wrong folder. So it's important to use the 3 dots. You can copy or create a CD image for loading a USB drive off of a CD. A lot of computers don't have support for booting from BIOS to a USB drive. You'll have to load the CD with those images that it's going to create, and then boot from those CDs. You can customize the Kicker ISO, which the Kicker is the file that loads into RAM to boot UBCD quicker. You can test the USB drive after you click the go button, and that will load up a QEMU virtual machine and allow you to see what you just created. And I just went on from that. And that's that. So, anybody have any questions? Anybody learn anything new off of it?
By the way, if you want to make a second one of those, it's quicker to use DVD and Linux and do a byte for byte copy than it is to go through that entire process again.
Yeah, probably, but I'm not that familiar with Linux.
Oh, it's really simple. It's a one-liner.
I've just
I'll write
learned
it down
DD.
for you. I'll write it down for you.
I just learned DD yesterday because I was trying to boot Windows XP from an iSCSI server across the network. It didn't work out, but I had to copy the image.
You can save drive.
Yeah. It keeps it'll get to a Windows XP loading screen where the bar goes across, and then it just stays there. Doesn't do anything else.
I know when I was in Belize, this got my ass out of a couple of binds.
Yeah.
You know, when you're out in the jungle and you don't have internet access, you have 2 machines that won't boot, yet you have 2 that do boot. This has excellent built-in cloning utilities that work pretty well.
Yep, you can back up the hard drive of the host machine to another source that has enough space. So another USB drive.
I just did 1 drive, 2 of them.
Yeah.
It worked.
I have never had the opportunity to do that. I'm actually glad.
Give it a try.
Yeah. Does anybody want to see the menu file that I created so I can maybe help you out with Rutherford DOS structure? I'll show you anyway.
You're mine.
All right. Rutherford DOS for UBCD doesn't come with a image. I had actually had to load that, and I had to do a lot of searching on Google to figure out how to use Rutherford DOS. But this is the basic structure of it. As you can see, I changed the menu option right here to that. Instead of the default UBCD4Win. looks like it chain loads the NT loader file.
Mm-hmm. Just grub can't really boot Windows.
Yeah, down here, there's a, you can boot into the recovery console for Windows XP. How many of you use the recovery console for Windows XP? You had to maybe fix a master boot record? Okay.
Once, and that was enough.
It's a command prompt, and it gives you some special utilities like, I don't think check disk is in the operating system environment. You have to use that from the recovery console. And there's a lot of other options that you can use too. I had to figure out how to load. A lot of these were syslinux based programs, operating systems, whatever you want to call them. And I had to look at their syslinux boot options and just change it to the grub for DOS, which wasn't really that hard after a lot of trial and errors. Turns out that in syslinux, the INITRD is attached to the kernel, so it's appended to that. And it actually uses the append command to know how to load it. In here, it just automatically appends it after you specify that you want to add it.
INITRD is it's basically a folder of nothing but start, stop, restart executables for system daemons or services that will come up automatically on boot. Yeah, it is type kernel.
Yeah, that's good to know. And then you have the AVG Live. You have the option to load it into a different, or load a different menu using the config file feature or command, and then specifying the location of the INI file for the menu. And then right here, where's it at? Here's the recovery console. In order to boot from grub for DOS, you have to chain load, and then you have to add CMD cons to the memory. You have to write it so it knows to boot from it. Do you have any information to add on that? Because I don't know much about grub for DOS on this aspect.
Windows, in the way it boots and the way it works, is FM. The F stands for whatever F word you'd like to put there, and then M stands for magic.
If only Windows was as portable as Linux. Well, that's that. These are the two options which load the image files into memory for faster boot loads, better boot times. Anybody got any questions?
Why are you restarting?
I'm gonna load up the other USB
Oh,
drive.
okay.
We should. Okay, this one boots right into a syslinux. That's what that's the bootloader that I chose to use because at that time I didn't know how to chain load. Or Offcrack was using syslinux and it overwrote my original bootloader. So I added the menu option for going to Grub for DOS. And what I had to do was actually download Grub for DOS and put the executable on the USB drive, and then told it to switch to that. When I click that, and then you should, normally it would show that it would be loading the Grub for DOS command. Default time.
Looks like you get UBCD.
Yeah. And this is the one that takes the longest to load. Oh, no.
So in this case, you're using syslinux
Yeah.
to load Grub for DOS,
Yeah.
to load NT.
Yeah.
Load. You just scored some badass points in my book right there.
Well, thank you. Underneath the first option on the menu was a GPXE. That is a bootloader for booting across the network, and you can boot from iSCSI drives. And this is what I was using to boot from a computer that does not have a hard drive in it across the network. But I'm all out of stuff to talk about. Anybody got any questions? Did I cover anything? Everything? Yeah. The first speech, so.
Hey, you did better than I did. All right. Well, if there's no questions, see, I don't have anything else besides that next week, Justin Van der Warden. Did I say your name right in the camera? On YouTube. Hoo-ha is going to be speaking about installing Linux, or Debian more specifically, on your HTC phone. Which, yeah, he just got that working.
I wouldn't dare to try it.
No. No, he's a little more daring than I am.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, next week, same time, same place, and it's all skate. Oh yeah, and Ellie has a sign-up sheet for OTech. Talk to Pharrell if you want to go to Nauticon.
Or post on Facebook or
Or let us know somehow.
Yeah.